Today we're going to take you to the thrift store, show you how we do our thrift flips for profit. We're working on a collaboration with other makers, and the theme is things that make you uniquely you. And I think for Zeb and I, buying junk and flipping it is definitely uniquely us. All right, battling carts. We're going to give ourselves a challenge to see who can pick the better stuff. And then we're going to show you guys how we finish it and how we sell it.
So this is the collectibles over here. They've got some candlesticks and things, but $10 for that painted blue. I think that's a little much. I've got to hurry and get down the good aisles before Jamie does. I'm doing it. It was $1 at a yard sale. It's $2 here.
Hey,
put that in
there's no cart grabbing.
Put that in my cart. Look what I found. $5, but it comes with a really cool kind of apothecary style jar. All right, so I just passed Jamie.
Look at all those seashells.
This is my cart. Look at Jamie's cart.
I love this one. I almost bought those and that, but didn't. I mean, a little for now, a little for later.
Jamie's cart's loaded.
I mean, this I'm probably gonna send to Debbie.
The clock selection today is very limited. I was hoping for a shelf sitter, do a fun design or something like we've been doing with clocks lately. These will not work. All right, so we came for just a few things and filled up the entire back of our SUVs. So yeah, it's full. All right, I don't normally film while we're driving cars, but look how cool that old car is. Zeb called it, what'd you call it? It's a rat rod.
It's a rat rod, and what does that mean?
It's made from all kinds of different kind of cars.
It's so cool. Goodbye, rat rod.
So we initially went into thrifting today with the idea that we'd stay under 50 bucks and get about 5 or 6 items. I have 5 items here. I spent a total of $12 on my items that I'm gonna make over. How did you do?
$45. You gotta spend money to make money.
I passed this. It was actually marked for $45, but it had a tag on the back for $10. Jamie gets to the front and she's like, hey, which tag's right? And the manager was like, how about we meet in the middle for 20?
I was like, I could do 20. I flat out told her, like, I was nice. I just said, I mean, I like it, but I don't $45 like it. So what can you do for me? And she said, let's meet in the middle at 20. I was like, sweet. So I did really good. I had 45 bucks. I have kind of a theme. Not everything that I bought needs to be worked on. Everything Zeb bought needs a little bit of a situation upgrade.
Yep.
So my theme was definitely like European cottage. I've got a couple of tiered trays. I've got this great print. So we're gonna get started working on these. While we're working on it, we're gonna give you the pricing of what we paid. And at the end, we'll tell you what we're gonna list everything for and show you how we actually take pictures to list it and put it up on our website. Because I feel like a lot of people wanna know how to thrift flip, but the steps aren't always in one video. So today's video is gonna have that, which will be awesome. Make sure you're checking out the playlist below for the collab with all of our other friends. Their videos are gonna be awesome, sharing what makes them uniquely them. So we're gonna get started working on projects. First things first for me, a lot of mine is just cleaning up, not really like heavy duty making over. So I wanna get the things painted first so they can be drying while I'm cleaning up. This frame is getting painted Ocean by Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. You can buy the paint and the other products you see at JamiRayVintage.com. This is leftover from our clock, and lucky for me, it did not solidify, so I'm gonna use it up.
Nope, it's actually about the perfect thickness just sitting there. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of lucked out. If we would have put extra bond in it, I think it would have solidified. I mean, it smells a little bit like pickles because this was a pickle jar, but other than that, it's fine.
The smell goes away. The clock does not smell like pickles.
Yeah, don't worry. I will not be selling a pickle scented frame. All right, are you gonna use some of this on yours too, yeah?
Yes, so what I'm gonna do, I mean, you guys have seen us make over a lot of rolling pins. I'm going to paint the handles, but I'm gonna use Food Safe milk paint and do this floral stencil over the top of it and see what that turns out like. It may win and it may not win. It's gonna be hard to do the rounded surface. All right, the handles are mostly dry on here. I'm just gonna take some 220 sandpaper, go over the top of this here. We've washed them, but you know, I'm just gonna get any extra little paint or whatever I got over on it when I was painting them, because it's interesting painting rolling pins. They roll around on you all over the place, you know, ironic, right?
Well, there's paint right in front of you, so watch out.
Oh, I do have a little schmear.
Do you want a paper towel?
It'll be all right.
Do you want me to help you hold that?
Nope.
All right. absolutely love it when I find a project that's mostly done for me. Somebody took 3 found items and a couple of candlesticks and put this together. It was $4. If I bought this individually, this probably cost me about 10 bucks for this setup. Plus, it's glued and dried. So all I'm gonna do is give it a fun paint job. You can paint metal and glass with Sweet Pickins milk paint, but I like to add Extra Bond to make sure it sticks really good. And speaking of sticking really good, it's stuck, okay. So I've got a little bit of milk paint left in the bottom. 2 parts paint to 1 part Bond. That looks about right. Stir it up with my magic brush here.
The brush is magical today, is it?
It is. It's going to make magic out of this. It's not bad the way that it is, but I want to give it a cohesive look. It's like dripping under here.
Jami is finished painting her trays. I'm just going to distress these handles a little bit because it's milk paint. Some will flake off, and sometimes more will flake off than other times, so it just depends on the look you're going for. If you get a lot of flaking, you can always add Extra Bond like Jami did on hers, or just repaint and see what sticks. Sometimes it just needs to absorb whatever oils are down in the wood. So you can see how a lot of that came off, but it's still kind of dyed green down in the grain. I'm gonna leave that, I like that a lot. I'm using Sweet Pickins hemp oil. It's all natural, also USDA bio-certified, food safe, just like the paint. And that's what I'm gonna use to seal this in. Honestly, they're mostly for decor. If you wanna use them, you can. I mostly just like how it looks when you put that hemp oil on there. It really brings the richness and the tones back.
The next step on this frame is I'm gonna go ahead and wet distress it, and then we'll white wax it and we'll be good to go. So I'm just taking a damp rag, bringing back some of the original tones. I love the gold that was originally on there, so I don't mind bringing back some of that.
The love on here, probably great. But
you're not feeling the love?
I'm not feeling this particular love. So I'm just going to pop it off. I think there's just glue. Yep, and now it's a really cool little tote. It's got a natural branch for a handle, love that. I'm gonna give it a little bit lighter, brighter color. I'm gonna use that same floral stencil I was using on the rolling pins on the side of here. We got a whole theme going.
I like it. You know, it looks like you made it too because they missed their nail right here.
Yeah, it's homemade. Someone did this at home or a shop project. This is my kind of tote. It looks like it was made from several different scrap pieces of wood, different thicknesses. It's got a branch for a handle. It's awesome.
The white wax tones down the ocean a little bit and dulls it so it'll look really great with that frame. Much better than the gold and the red. I think sometimes like when people had stuff framed, they just went with whatever the framing store had because the red definitely didn't match.
Great scripture on this tin, very inspirational, but you can hardly read it. It's so dark and dim. If this was across the room, I wouldn't be able to read this, and my eyesight's okay. So I just dipped in this old 57, and I'm gonna add a little bit of brightness. I'm gonna come back over with some water, and then I might even come back with some prairie gray to kind of sit down in those creases because the blue is real bright. The old 57 is just so cherry and happy. I just have a tiny bit of water in here. I'm gonna blend these in a little bit more and kind of wash this on here.
Okay, I'm putting a second coat on this little tiered tray here. I think I might even need 3 coats on a few spots just because it was really shiny in the middle of glass. Needs a little bit more coverage.
Just got a little white, little beadboard dipped in there, and I brushed it off on the drop cloth. I actually really like this tote kind of how it is. I just want to freshen it up a little bit. It's got some weird water stains on it. I think it was probably lined and had a plant in here at one point. My job as a kid when I was real young was to go pick all the peas and the green beans because my mom said I was down there where they were at and I could see them good. So that's what I did, and this would have been the perfect tote for that. I got the IOD mold in the Victoria. It's got these caps letters that have got a little bit of age and shape to them. They look awesome. I think I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick with the theme that this had on it. We're gonna have it say pray always. And then we've got the sunflowers, because I've been loving the sunflowers this week. I'm gonna do the sunflower, just the big one right over here somewhere on that.
I'm gonna be using a mold as well. I've got Trimmings 3. Trimmings 3 and the sunflowers are the new IOD molds that are on pre-order now. So make sure you're hitting up JamiRayVintage.com to get these. They are made to fit inside of each other. They're not straight on each side, so they're interlocking. They also have the name of the mold as well as the amount of clay or resin it will take in each mold to fulfill. So if you're putting with resin, you'll know how much to pour, which is actually amazing. Look at you helping me cornstarch this.
I know I shouldn't, because your competition today, I don't know, is it really a competition? If you sell stuff and I sell stuff,
we all win.
I'm still winning. All right, so these new molds, that just locks right up in there. You could continue on as long as you need to make it, and your pattern would just match amazingly. It's gonna just need one. I'm having to mush it just a little bit.
It's all right, once it's painted, you won't be able to tell we had to fudge it.
Jamie's gonna paint that up while I go ahead and get the molds done.
Now that the paint is dry on this, I'm just gonna seal it up with clear wax and it'll be good to go. It'll take a while for that paint to fully cure on here, and it may chip a little over time, but overall it's gonna look pretty good.
All right, some golden rule going on here. I didn't even know.
Well, I just needed something to zhuzh it up, a little extra jewelry on here, and I feel like this is gonna push it over the edge. Originally, this was like a chippy black and cream, so I'm just wet distressing along the top and a little bit along the bottom just to bring out some of that original chippy texture situation. And then I'll clear wax it and dark wax it. Okay, I'm just clear waxing this because I'm gonna also black or dark wax it. I decided. And I wanna make sure it doesn't like soak in too much, so the clear wax kind of helps that. I'll wipe it back a little bit at a time, and then I'll probably rub it across the base of the pot to give it a little age.
I'm not gonna hit these molds very hard because they are still pretty wet, they're not dry yet, but I've got them around the tin here. I can come back in and bring some of that blue white I made with the old 57 and the beadboard, and bring that back. And then I think I'm gonna use some of the gold that Jamie's been using on everything on this sunflower and maybe hit the tops of these letters with it. All right, I had to fight Jamie off because she wanted to put the gold wax on here. She's like, I want to do the golden rule.
I feel like you need more gold.
Like it's my turn.
It may, you know, it might be dirty because I had black wax on my last one. There you go.
Once the top of this is all cured up, I'm gonna paint the bottom and let that dry.
One of the things that I love to do is to find goodies at the thrift store that I can use to stage my tiered trays and then include them with a purchase, because sometimes people can't really imagine how they would use it. So in this case, this little greenery is gonna be sold with this, and I'm gonna sell it just like that. This little wire basket is kinda cute, kinda basic. So I bought a bag of Spanish moss for 50 cents, and I bought some eggs and a bird for $1.50. It's kind of messy. I'm gonna have to get the vacuum out.
I actually think it'd be fine without the moss, but
I'm going with it now. All right, so I'm gonna tidy this up, but this is what this is gonna be staged like, and then I'll just ship it with the moss in a bag so they can use it if they want to. Okay, the last step in this puzzle for junking is that we photograph everything and we put it on our website, jrvhome.com. We have found that we are able to thrift more and sell more by having a website as opposed to just selling in the shop or trying to do Etsy. It's really been what's worked for us to make money from thrifting. The right picture makes a big difference. We photograph most of our thrifted pictures right here because we've got a good white background and a nice solid base, and it gives a little bit of continuity to all our photos.
I think we must thrift and paint a lot together because unintentionally it all kind of has the same color and theme and French country vibe.
Cottage core all the way.
Don't forget to check the playlist down below. Lots of great makers doing stuff and creating content for you guys to enjoy.
We hope this inspires you guys to take a second look at your items at the thrift store. You can buy the paint products we use today, including the new IOD molds and the new DIY wax at jamirayvintage.com. All of these items will be listed on our home website at jrvhome.com. We're going to take the rest of the items that you saw us thrift today and get them ready for our Saturday night thrift haul. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
I'm loving this moment.